supporting me since day one. You don't want to see me win, man. I don't know why, but we gonna win anyway. Came straight out the with a microphone.
Head coach, we come at you from the shores of Lake Erie. EA Sports has the coverage of the NFL from First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland, Ohio. The folks here in Cleveland, even though all the down years, have never stopped supporting their hometown guys, and we got evidence of that a moment ago as the Browns made their entrance. They are ready to do battle with the Dallas Cowboys. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10. First carry now for Nick Chubb. Limited running room as he'll get about 3 to the 21.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. On 3rd down, Mayfield off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he was a big factor in a run game. No gain.
So on 4th down, Britton Colquitt on the punt. Back deep is Tavon Austin. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. Now the first carry for an Ohio native. It's Ezekiel Elliott. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Travis Carey there to make the tackle.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
Second down, Prescott. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line.
How about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was the strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
They'll need a big play here. Will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Here's Prescott. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. The Cleveland Browns, Charles, it's been an interesting season for them. There was optimism early, a couple of wins, a lot of near wins, but a lot of that optimism has really faded, and those competitive games early in the year, they're now just losses.
And that's exactly where people were headed with their optimism. Hey, this is going to pay dividends later. Go back to the season opener against Pittsburgh. 21-21 tie. Yet everyone felt great coming out of that, thinking, hey, down the road, that'll turn into wins. And you're exactly right. They have not seen that. Head coach Hugh Jackson was fired after their loss in Week 8. He had gone 3-36-1 in his tenure. And they still have some really tough road games coming up in the second half of the year. In the division at Cincinnati, Houston leading the AFC South at the midway point. at Denver, and at Baltimore. That's not easy.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Third and long for Mayfield. And this is going to be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And they will take over with a football just outside of the 10 at the 12-yard line. And that interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
Following the interception, Mayfield. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Jarvis Landry, a 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Browns have taken the early lead. Well, that didn't take long. The turnover instantly almost turning into points.
And when that happens, a lot of teams have the mentality of let's strike right now. You've got them off balance after the turnover or the takeaway. Let's go get it. And that's exactly what they did.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down. Right back to him on first down. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. A second down throw for Prescott. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Myles Garrett in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. They'll need a big play here. Will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Prescott now. Cooper's got it. 19 yards that time for number 19.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper and we mentioned, what if they play man coverage against you? He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what he said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered, when you talk about covering them with one guy, they think that's a personal affront. If they feel like if they can't just beat one defender, then they're not very good.
Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. A first down carry by Elliott. He finds some open field here. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. And that's caught by Beasley. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
The first opportunity in the red zone for the Cowboys. 1st and 10 at the 19. Here's a give to Smith, and he'll get this down only to the 18. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
A 1-yard gain could look like a disaster, but all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. Intended that time for Cooper.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And he's up past the 10 to about the 12. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
A give. This is Chubb. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are. Figure out the things that they really want to accomplish and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. And he rifles it complete, caught by Landry. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a 1st down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
All right, here we go.
Mayfield now looking to throw on 1st down. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. These strong safeties, some people may not realize it. It's really like an extra linebacker, right?
It really is, because they're hybrids. Half linebacker, half defensive back. The linebacker in him on that play emerged.
So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. The Browns on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 19. Mayfield. And that is incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted one time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. Third downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Here's Austin. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And out now come the Cowboys. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Remain here in the first half. More from Cleveland after this. They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Well, partner, with that incompletion, what do you say that we look around the league and give some defensive players some love? You okay with that?
Let's do it. Let's rattle off a few guys. Von Miller, every year we talk about him, we should do it again. He's, again, one of the top sack leaders in the NFL. One name you don't talk about, but should, is Danielle Hunter with the Minnesota Vikings, really coming into his own as a pass rusher. Aaron Donald, I think he's worth every nickel the LA Rams have spent. Strong favorites in the NFC West. J.J. Watt is back, and that's not a pun either because he's back from back surgery, okay? He is playing awfully well, still continuing to get to the quarterback, and is also J.J. Watt knocking passes out of the air. But how about a special category? How about teammates and or brothers? Ed Bradley Chubb, Devon Miller, the rookie out of North Carolina.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 18. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Again to Elliott, able to spin free. Zeke with a shake and bake, and he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. You know, Charles, it is hard to believe that we are sitting on the doorstep of Thanksgiving week. Already that time of year, but it always gives us good football. One of the games on Thanksgiving, Chicago and Detroit, that'll get the party started at 12:30 Eastern.
One of the traditional games, Detroit hosting, Dallas hosting, but in this case, we will stay in the Motor City. And this is the longest running annual.
And my goodness, another interception. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
14 yards, and it's a Cleveland 1st down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
Over!
They go play action. Mayfield going back to Leonard. This time he's got him complete. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the 1st half. This is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. Now the Browns signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this 1st half. Eluding the pressure right. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off Byron Jones. And he will be out of bounds as time has run out on this 1st half. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And it's a short kick, taken right around the 19. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to. And if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Prescott now on 2nd down. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Myles Garrett in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight. They'll need a big play here, will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Prescott to throw it. And this is going to be incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taken in at the 22. 12 yards on the return that time, and the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the 3rd quarter. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
And how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. In the 1st half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And now here come the Cowboys. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They'll try and get the running game going with Elliott. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. They go to Elliott again. And he'll take this one up to about the 23. And it looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves him with 7 yards to go on 3rd down.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. To throw is Prescott. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This is brought in at the 21. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And possession will switch hands. 1st and 10. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now. 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
They begin this drive with Chubb. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And again, it's Chubb. Room here to run. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. And they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think...
And for a 3rd time, and a loose football. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. They go play action here on 1st down. And now here's another interception. Picked off by the former 1st-round pick, Demarius Randall. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. But with that incompletion, Charles, I want to revisit our preseason Super Bowl picks.
Must we?
Well, we're getting closer and closer toward the playoffs. So
we have to revisit
who
them?
did you have? You had the Falcons.
I had Atlanta.
But you couldn't predict all those injuries the Falcons
Couldn't
had.
predict all the injuries, and heading into their open week, they had won 2 in a row. And then beat Washington after the open week. So it all is not lost, but still enough guys are out that maybe it's not the best prediction. But I did have Pittsburgh, I believe, on the AFC side, and they are really starting to come on.
Sadly, I don't even remember who I had. I think it's going to sound like, oh, yeah, revisionist history. I think I had Rams and Patriots, so I'm going to stick with that.
That actually sounds familiar to me. I do believe you did have Rams in New England, and you are on track with those 2 teams.
Here's Nick Chubb as they try to fire up this run game. And he powers his way up past the 30. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the third quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the fourth quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
Four down. Check. Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
They run it again with Chubb. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. It's a 6-yard run, leaves him with about a foot or so here still to go to hit the marker with third down coming up. And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's the Browns football, and they've got the lead here as we start quarter number 4. The offense on third down tonight, just 1 for 5 to this point. They're looking at third and the nose of the football.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They pitch it to Chubb. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Handoff comes to Chubb. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. They'll try to throw here. Mayfield, flush to his right. He's got a man wide open. It's Landry. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. He had their lone TD earlier. Now he's got a first down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
A run for Nick Chubb, fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. It's a gain of 10, and the Browns are going to get a first down. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Here we go now. 319. 319.
On the ground, it's Chubb. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Tyrone Crawford in on the tackle. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. David Njoku was the intended receiver, and it's third down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down.
Hurry up, here we go. 319. 319.
Mayfield down. And that is incomplete.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give him some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. I don't think this will even, nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, and this score will stay right where it is. So a bit of a weird kick there. That wasn't an overly long attempt, but that never had a chance.
You almost wonder if he might have maybe got that one on the laces because it kind of knuckled on him a bit. And this one winds up in empty possession.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. They begin with a run by Smith. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
And that's another stop for the defense. Something we've seen all game long. They've been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. Now it's a bootleg with Prescott. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers.
Brandon, offensively, this has been a tough day for him. Trying to find a place to throw the football. It's been extremely difficult. I've got to give a lot of credit to the secondary, especially the corners who've had the receivers on lockdown.
They run. Chubb. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb, 43 yards. And the forced turnover on defense leads to 6 points. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
They're going to try and run. And he is into the end zone again. So get him some oxygen. He scores on the long run and then punches in the 2-point conversion for good measure. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. Play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. His throw incomplete. Jeff Swain, the intended receiver. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. And he finds Beasley complete. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. Got to be careful here. They need to move quickly, but it's also 4th. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall, and a return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line. With that interception, he just set a record that nobody ever wants to set, and that's the most picks ever in an NFL game. 8.
The last time we saw 7, 2001, right?
Yeah. Ty Detmer.
He's with the Lions at that time. To get to 8, are we sure he knows what color jerseys his team's wearing in this one?
I don't know. It has not been good. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10.
Now let's go.
On the carry, it's Chubb. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Now Chubb. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with 3rd and just a yard.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Mayfield to throw it. Flushed out right. He may try and run for this. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It's a gain of 8 there, and that should be enough to seal the victory. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Chubb. And he'll take this one down to the 36. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. And now the Cowboys are going to call another timeout as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in the game. The Browns on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd down and 12. They'll go left side on the ground with Chubb. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. Now here's a whistle and a timeout. It's called by the receiving team here, as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Now Austin. A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Travis Carey. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Here we go now.
Well, the lead late in the 4th, but Mayfield's going to throw it. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete. Trying to get it to Landry there.
Just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line.